Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Mission Maker's Vlog. Today we're going to talk about Eden. Now, I want to start by saying I have the utmost respect for Bohemia Interactive in creating Eden. It is a great tool and it's free. It's everything that I think people wanted, but there's a few things that I think are worth addressing. Starting with, I don't think Eden really changes much in the mission making scene. Now hold on before you get crazy. I'm not saying that it's not great. It definitely is, and it provides accessibility to a lot of mission makers. But that's just it. It's accessibility. It's getting those people from mid to low end to be able to create stuff that would be considered high-end, community created content nowadays. So while I do think that Eden is, still a great tool, for advanced mission makers, it doesn't really change anything because mission makers of a high skill set were already using and employing tools to accomplish the same sorts of things. Advanced mission makers already knew scripts that Eden now can make presets for using checkboxes. They already knew how to use XCAM to create structures and bases, and XCAM still excels at being an excellent interface for building in terrain builder, in fortifications, bases, towns even. I'm still going to be using XCAM because it's just such a great tool. But, like I said, it's all about accessibility. Eden is more accessible than XCAM. XCAM has a lot of key bindings and tools and advanced things that beginners, one, don't really care about, and two, won't really understand with any background knowledge. Now, my mission-making flow does normally consist of building an XCAM, placing units in MCC, saving the SQM, and merging the two, and then adding triggers, scripts, and briefing files and all that to create the end mission. While that process is still the same, I've just replaced MCC with Eden because Eden is now also the editor, so it just sort of removes that MCC process altogether, which is great. But it doesn't really change how I work, it doesn't change how I think about missions, it doesn't really change how I think about the game, and then again, I don't think it was supposed to be. It was designed for the pure accessibility content to newer to mid-level mission makers, and a lot of people, I felt, had expectations for something better or greater. Not necessarily better, but just bigger, more change. Well, that's not what happened, but that's not what was supposed to happen. It was never supposed to be this grand way that they, change how the game works. The game will always work the way it does because community makers, community content has defined how the game is played. People have defined how they want to play the game because it's a sandbox, and a sandbox allows you to create your own content the way you want. So in a situation where you have units who have their large-scale co-op missions, you have Wasteland, Altus Life, Domination, all those game modes, people play that the way they want, and that's just what's great about ARMA is people are able to sort of make more of what they want now with Eden. Eden allows them to have the access or the ability to make more of the content that they want. While I do like Eden, I do, trust me, I also still want to talk about a couple of concerns, as all great things still need to have concerns addressed. Eden is more buggy and a bit less reliable than 2D Editor. Now, I wasn't around when 2D Editor first came out. I wouldn't be surprised if it had bugs as well. But the fact is, we're moving from a platform that was around for so long, had a legacy, everyone knew how to use it, or everyone that used it knew how to use it. And then we went from that platform, which was undoubtedly extremely reliable, always did exactly what we thought it would. It hadn't been changed in a long time. Now we're moving to Eden. Eden has a few bugs here and there, but that's why Bohemia gave people the option to still use 2D until Apex came out. And Eden also has a 2D map option. While it is still Eden, and the format for the SQM file is different, it's still works just a bit differently and can cause some issues here and there when putting out updates or changing things about it. I mean, when it first came out, there was a bug that made all triggers not work on dedicated servers, and that's a pretty major bug. Now, if there were any additional changes or, other features that would be added to it, not by the community, I feel like that would, potentially cause more bugs and problems. And for a mission-making platform, it needs to be reliable. We need to be able to trust that it's going to be able to work, because we have people relying on us to make missions for them. And when stuff doesn't go the way that we want, it's stressful. It makes us pull our hair out. But that's why Bohemia created this in a modular sense. That's why mods can add on to it, and then, you can take those off if they don't work or if they break something. And that's another thing that Bohemia did, just, because they thought about this, obviously. Eden was a well thought out process. They knew that people were going to have to transition to it, so they left 2D Editor in. They knew it was going to have bugs, so they left 2D Editor in. They knew they wanted to either add stuff on in the future or let the community add stuff on. So they created a modular system where they can actually, people can actually add things to it. But in the case where something doesn't work, it can be removed. But again, reliability is really important for mission makers, so that's why I at least feel that Eden isn't as reliable as 2D Editor yet. And for that reason, it's sort of got me, I'm not going to lie, it's a bit frustrated every now and then when something just doesn't go the way I want. I still love Eden, I still think Eden is great, and I still think Eden is going to provide a lot of people, new people especially, to make more good things. And more good content is always good. Now, one request I do have is that Bohemia creates a merge with files function. Considering that there isn't a merge button anymore because you can copy objects and then paste in original position, which is still awesome, I do feel like merging with files, copying the directories of two mission folders, would be a great feature. Also, implementing some kind of file browser where they can maybe view or edit text inside Eden. Because once you leave that interface, once you start alt-tabbing out of the game, it starts to get a bit all over the place and people sort of lose focus or they get confused or do something that ends up breaking. It's psychological, I guess. I don't know. But I've seen it happen from having to teach a lot of people how to use Eden or how to use some of the functions in Eden. Once you alt-tab out of the game, it seems like everything doesn't go the way that you told them to do it. So, a copy with files function and also a built-in text editor would be great. And with that, I would undoubtedly say that Eden is amazing and better than 2D Editor. And if it had those features, I would cry happily. Because even when you're in windowed mode using the editor, it's just not as good when you have to leave the game to open up a notepad. I would love to edit files in the model viewer and not have to actually alt-tab all over the place. And trust me, I understand that with new features comes new bugs, but I'm just saying those two things. It would be really, really awesome. Especially if it had autofill like an IDE, and then it had like actual syntax checking, and actually like pre-process the files to actually see if the syntax was right before you preview the file. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Is then you take the file and then take the IDE, and you'd be able to change the file name of the directory, and then you'd be able to put folder in subdirectories and be able to process the subdirectories, double click things to get to actually access the directories. Oh my god, that would be amazing. But I can dream. So we'll see how it goes, but I imagine if Bohemia doesn't, someone in the mod community will. Well, thank you for watching this Mission Maker's vlog. This was a bit more of a talky one and a little bit less about the actual mission making, but I hope my thoughts on the whole Eden thing was a bit different, since I know a lot of people have been really happy and excited about it. Doesn't mean that things can be ignored, and trust me, I'm all for Eden. It's great. I can't wait to see a lot of the stuff that people are going to make that they couldn't before because it was just too complicated for them to handle in a 2D editor and not having the ability to click checkboxes for autofill scripts and stuff like that. So it's a great, love it, looking forward to it, and I will see you guys next time.